All right. Okay, let's see. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for being here tonight. This is going to be a very special night because we're going to be talking about water. And of course, water is very, very important. But before we get there, I wanted to uh, just ask everybody to, of course, mute yourselves. And then later on, we'll have a question and answer. And maybe you can just raise your hand and so or if you also have questions later, you can also do it in the chat and we will try to answer them or read them for Jim to answer later. Okay.
Beautiful.
So, um, some housekeeping also. I wanted to mention to everyone that this Sunday will be the last day to get your promotions with the X39, X49, and free Eon. So please don't forget to get it because it is going to be saving you a lot of money. Okay. So there's other things that we will talk about with our group later. But for now, I am going to introduce our special guest. Um, Jim Gilliland, Jim Gilliland is actually he is our upline. He's been in network marketing for 43 years and 29 years full time. He earned multiple seven figures, top recruiter awards, and won trips and cruises. He has joined LifeWave about 2 years ago, and he is building a humongous team of heart driven leaders. Just like us, and we want to help as many people as we can. He has spoken at three major company conventions. He has trained thousands all over the world. And he is the owner of New Technologies International for 28 years. He has done over 1,200 live presentations on water wellness. And he is known as an expert and master trainer in this field. So we are so excited and so honored tonight to introduce our upline and friend, Coach Jim Gilliland.
Hey, hey, thanks for having me. How you guys doing tonight? Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a long journey. 29 years I've been involved with water technology. And water has been my life over the last 29 years to the point where I opened a water store with the company I was with. I had the oldest water store in the world in that company. And they featured me on the cover of their magazine. And because it was a new thing for them, it was a water company. It's a brand new thing for them. And they, let me change this real quick here. I'm going to try to do it so you got to see me a little tiny. So, Renee, why don't you go ahead and
what happened?
Just there you go. I just wanted to make it a little larger so you're not looking for me in the little corner. So,
Jim and Renee, I'm sorry that somebody's trying to get in, but they're getting a message that is at full capacity.
Yeah, we are full. We can only, I didn't know that we are only up to 900.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
That's okay. We'll do this call again. It'll be recorded, and so they can watch the recording of it. So back to the water, though. When I started getting involved, when I got involved with water, I was a huge soda drinker. Many of you drink sodas. Some of you do, some of you don't. But the thing it comes down to is a lot of us replace our water with soda, and that's not such a great thing. And so we're going to talk about water tonight. We're going to talk about the importance of water. We're going to talk about X2O and why we want to get prepared for the launch of this product. Now, I got to tell you right now, I'm under two non-disclosure contracts with LifeWave. So there's a lot of things I can't talk about, but there are other things that I will share as well. So let's go ahead. I'm going to share my screen and start a PowerPoint real quick for you. And I'm going to do that with sound on. Okay. So I'm going to make this full slideshow. And we're going to do it from the beginning. So hopefully a lot of you guys that are on the call tonight are drinking water on a regular basis. I know with LifeWave, our main focus is X39 and the patch technology, but we do have our LifeWave X2 coming out here soon. I'm not going to say dates, but it will be soon. And so our health comes down to is it's all based on water in our body. They say, well, what's the most important part of your health? What's the most important thing to your body? Is it water? Is it oxygen? What is it? Comes down to is water. Hydration is the most important part of our health picture. Without water, you can't even assimilate the oxygen you're breathing. So water is actually more important than the oxygen you breathe. You say, well, you can only have 3 or 4 minutes without oxygen, but you can go 3 days without water. Well, still comes down to it. Water is more important than the air you breathe. We don't give a lot of thought to water because it's free. Okay. We do pay a water bill. Some of you buy bottled water in the store because the water in your area is terrible. But it comes down to is we don't give a lot of thought to what's in our water. And so water isn't a thing that we really focus on. Now, I've been to Texas. I've been to Arizona and a lot of other states and other countries, and the water is terrible. You don't even want to drink it. I remember when we would go to LA. We lived in the Antelope Valley, the high desert in the Lancaster, Antelope Valley area, and our water was good. But you go to LA and you don't want to drink the water down there because it tastes so bad. And so, we, you know what, at our house, we just drank the tap water. Good friend of mine, Wayne Dyer, he says, our lives are the sum of the total of the choices we have made. Now, I want you to think about that. How many of us have thought about how long we want to live to? Have you thought about how many years you want to spend on this planet Earth? Now, me personally, I'm one of the things I am is I'm a pastor. And so I'm a licensed ordained pastor. And so I am always asking, Lord, come quickly, because I'm ready to leave. But if I'm going to live here on this planet Earth, I want to live to at least 100, 105, but I want to do it in a healthy state where I'm not having to push around a walker or be in a wheelchair or in a bed. I want to live a long life. And so part of that idea of living a long life is, what are we doing to take care of our body? Are we putting the best water into our body? So 75% of Americans are chronically dehydrated. Think about that. Dehydration. People die from dehydration every day. Most diseases come from dehydration. And so we want to think about our bodies and are we hydrated or dehydrated? So we're going to look at that. First of all, think about water. Your brain is 74.5 to 83% water. Now, if you're dehydrated, ask any athlete. They get dehydrated, especially boxers or guys that play football. The brain shrinks. They get hit and they get a brain injury. Okay? Our blood is 83% water. Kidneys, 83% water. Our liver is 86% water. Bones, 13 to 22% water. Even our fat is 20% water. So our body has this much water in it. Shouldn't it be the best water possible? Like I said, I've sold a lot of water systems over the years. And I go back and I look at, what type of systems I sold. And some of the products I've sold in the past, I'm not real proud of right now because I know what we are missing. Think about this. If water is so important, why aren't we drinking the best you can find? You have 1% water loss and you're considered dehydrated. 2% water loss, you're thirsty. They said, well, I get dry mouth, thirsty. I must be dehydrated. No, you're already on your way to dehydration before that. 10% water loss, you can start to hallucinate. 12% water loss leads to death. Water is extremely, extremely important to our bodies. General recommendations for water is if you drink 8, 10-ounce glass of water in your first 8 to 10 hours during the day, that's the best time to do it. I personally, I drink 24 to 32 ounces of water before I go to bed at night. And I don't wake up through the night to go use the bathroom. It just that I hydrate throughout the day. I drink water before I go to bed at night. And my body is, over the years of drinking all this water, has become regulated. So I don't need to get up throughout the night to use the bathroom. For proper hydration, your body intake should be half your body weight in ounces per day. So a 100-pound person, 100 pounds, they need at least 50 ounces of water a day. 200 pounds, like myself, I need 100 ounces of water a day. Now, that doesn't mean 100 ounces of coffee or 100 ounces of soda pop. I'm talking water, okay? Those other things all are hydrating, but a lot of them actually dehydrate the body. Now, I've been teaching water, like I said, for 29 years. And about 3 months ago, I got dehydrated, okay? Here I've got a phenomenal water system in my house. I carry water around with me, but I got so busy. I got up in the morning after sleeping all night. I didn't drink my normal water like I do in the morning. I try to do a 16 to 24 ounces of water. I grabbed my cup of coffee and I headed to Seattle. I had some work to do over there. And then the gals in the office over there wanted to fix me a big tall espresso drink. So I drank that espresso drink. Then on the way home from Seattle, well, you got to understand, it's a 2-hour trip for me to go to Seattle, ferried ride and miles driven. On the way home, I stopped in, said hi to a friend at the espresso stand, bought another espresso. Then I stopped by and some of my friends wanted me to stop by and have a beer, stopped by and had a beer. Then I went to Bible study, from the bar to the Bible study, okay? But I went to Bible study and came home that night exhausted and went to bed. I did not have water throughout the entire day. I had all these things that dehydrate the body. I woke up the next morning dizzy. What had happened is the things I drank, which are dehydrating, caused my body to flush out all the minerals that I needed. And I had a potassium crash. Now, I went to specialists, I went to doctors. I actually admitted me in the hospital. Come to find out that I had flushed the important, crucial vitamins in my body out of my body. And I actually crashed. I had a dehydration episode. Like I said, 29 years of teaching on water, and I became dehydrated. So we have to make sure, I don't care if you set it on your watch, you put it, whatever it might be, set an alarm to make sure you're drinking water throughout the day. So hydration, what is hydration? Hydration, they say, is, and why it's so important. Questions name and explain 3 properties of water that make it essential for sustained life. Put it down in the chat box. 3 things, properties of water that make it essential for sustaining your life. What are they? Okay. Now, the polarity in hydrogen bonding, due to its polarity in water forms and hydrogen bonds, making it resistant to temperature changes. This property helps maintain a stable environment for living organisms. Okay. Cohesion and adhesion. Cohesion allows water molecules to stick together and facilitates nutrient transport in the plants. Adhesion enables water to stick to surfaces, allowing capillary action and the transport of nutrients and waste throughout the organism's body. Number 3, universal solvent. It's a universal solvent. Water can dissolve in a wide range of substances, which is vital to life and allows various chemical reactions to occur within living organisms, facilitating the transport of nutrients and waste, enabling essential biochemical reactions. That's a lot to say, but it comes down to is this. Water is a delivery system in your body to get the nutrients to where they need to go. If our water is the wrong kind of water, it doesn't get through what they call the aquaporins. Aquaporins are the little cellular openings to get into the body and hydrate. You can drink bottled water, and less than 20% of that water is actually getting where it needs to go. One of the things that we're going to see in our X20 system is, as David explained it, it's tiny water, okay? I've been familiar with tiny water for years now because one of the systems I marketed made tiny water. Now, tiny water allows the water to get through the aquaporins into the body to hydrate the entire body, to deliver nutrients and wash out the waste. Okay, so we need to make sure the water we're drinking is the right kind of water. Large clustered water does not hydrate the body. So, are you dehydrated? Do you deal with fatigue and headaches and joint pain? Joint pain in the area of arthritis and other areas of joint pain in your body, a lot of it's caused by dehydration. Sluggish metabolism, cravings are mistaken for thirst. So in the evening, when you're sitting there and you're reading a book or watching TV or whatever you do in the evening, and you start getting hungry, we get up and we go to the refrigerator. Do me a favor. First, get up and grab a glass of water and drink 10 to 12 ounces of water. Chances are you're just dehydrated. So there's a lot of premature aging signs that we can look at in our bodies. And the main thing is this: think about water. When you get tired, get some water. When you get start having aches and pains, drink some water. If you start getting a headache, drink water. These are all things are signals that we should be listening to. Now, according to the Environmental Working Group, America's tap water has been found to have over 350 pollutants, and over half of these pollutants are completely unregulated and can legally exist in any amount. So think about that. The things they allow in our water, which they don't even tell us is in there, like the forever chemicals. This is one of the reasons why David Schmidt, his goal was to be able to remove those forever chemicals from the water. So tap water of the 41 million Americans has been found to contain a wide range of pharmaceuticals, including sex hormones and anti-seizure medications. So how much of that stuff do you want in your body? How much of that stuff do you want in your kids' bodies? So think about your filtration system on your sink. So why clean water isn't always healthy? Tap and bottled water may lack essential minerals. Acid pH levels common in processed water can lack that as well. Oxidative stress caused by poor water quality and unseen contaminants like microplastics. This is one of the things that with the X20 we're removing from the water: microplastics, forever chemicals. Contaminated drinking water is America's most significant public health crisis. U.S. drinking water contamination with forever chemicals are far worse than scientists thought. The U.S. agency set to study health effects on the PFAS. So do some research on it. Where does your water come from? Now, I know in my area, it comes off the glaciers up in the mountains, the Olympic mountains, and it comes down into what we call Lord's Lake, which is a large water reservoir. It's actually a lake, and they use it as a reservoir. Not allowed to fish or hunt or go near the thing. And then it goes through pipes down into Port Townsend, where it goes into a water processing plant. Other areas of the country aren't that lucky. You look at the places like Flint, Michigan, where they had issues, and back in Pennsylvania, where a train crashed, and dumped all this stuff into the rivers. There's a lot of issues. The runoff from our farmers into our lakes, streams, and reservoirs gets into our drinking water. The water that we flush down the toilet with pharmaceuticals and everything else in that water, where does it go? It goes into the ground, which if you're in a community where I'm in an area where we have septic systems, it goes into the groundwater, and you hope to God that it's getting out of the water before it gets down to the well down in the valley below us. So think about what's in your water. The forever chemicals, though, are the things that we know we're going to remove from our water in the X2O. So David Schmidt has made it so that these filters that we have in our system, and I'll show you some information on that here in a little bit, removes 99+% of the forever chemicals and the harmful things you find in water. Now, the water you pour into the system, we don't know what the water is you're going to be pouring into it. What's in your tap water if you're using tap water? Maybe you're using a filter that goes in your refrigerator that you can make 2 liters of drinking water, like a Brita type thing, to fill up, to take a lot of the stuff out of the water before you pour it into the 2-liter reservoir on the X20. One thing we know is that a lot of us, I'm probably speaking to, we have ionizers, alkaline antioxidant machines. You do not want to put the alkaline water into the X20. If you have a setting for clean water, push the clean water and put the filtered water in there, but do not, I repeat, do not put your alkaline water into the system. And this is one thing we've really looked at. This is one thing we tested for. We don't want to put in there because of the residue that will leave behind inside of the reservoir of the X20, which can cause not only buildup of contaminants, it can also foul the machine. So once again, don't put, whether it be alkaline antioxidant water coming from a machine or water is an alkaline bottled water. And I'll answer questions on that in a minute. So PFAs are included in uncounted products, from clothing, furniture, to pizza boxes, to food wrappers, to cooking utensils, to electronics, firefighting foam, to shoes, and much, much more. The chemicals are used to make pots and pans, non-stick utensils, textiles more durable and stain resistant. We wear them on our bodies and our clothing all the time. Food packaging resistant to grease, shoes and clothing water resistant, paper and cardboard stronger than multiple among other multiple uses. So widespread is the planet's PFAS loaded that, according to one 2022 study in environmental science and technology, the chemicals actually fall from the sky in rain. Now you say, well, I have water catchment. A lot of people in Australia live on water catchment. A lot of people in other countries live on water catchment. So their water, you think, should be clean. No, it's found in our clouds, and when it rains, it comes to Earth and it's got those chemicals in it. So even raindrops have PFASs. And so it's really earth-shaking for me and others. And it's really eye-opening for folks to see that what's in our water. So I know right now the water I'm going to sip from is got Celergize in it. And one thing I'll tell you guys, you can mix your Celergize with the X20 water. And eventually here, there's going to be an area inside the machine where you can add like X20 or other supplements into the machine so that it actually goes into the water. That's something that's coming out. We're going to have 7 or 8 different things that are going to go through a transition over the years that they're going to add to our water systems, which you can adapt into your water system as well. A lot of water quality concerns. Millions exposed to contaminants like PFAS and heavy metals. Filters don't improve bioavailability. When I say that, a filter like a charcoal filter, like a Brita filter, refrigerator filter, it's not removing that. It'll remove some leads and some chlorine, but it's not removing all these other chemicals. So right now we're seeing a huge wellness shift as that becomes more and more common knowledge. $7 trillion in the global markets are turning to holistic health. So $7 trillion are being spent on holistic health right now. That's the goal, is holistic longevity. You see people like Kennedy, he's trying to get our food cleaned up in our diet here in the US. The X20 delivers science-backed, once again, science-backed hydration and innovation, with now coming up on 8 studies proven its effectiveness. Now, the company I worked with, the last two companies which I spent the better part of 28 years with, they didn't have the science. In fact, they didn't remove the forever chemicals. They didn't remove the toxins in the water, but they made the water smaller. So now those toxins are getting more, they're more bioavailable to the body. So they're being absorbed in the body. So David Schmidt didn't want that. I've had conversations with him and Wayne and some of the others and Meredith. We don't want a system that's going to put toxins into our body. So hydration health is a growing wellness movement. And if you think about it, consumers seek premium science-backed hydration solutions that go beyond traditional filtration and purification. Health conscious individuals demand functional wellness products that support their hydration, energy, and daily performance. The rise of scientific hydration technology suggests that a market shift towards enhanced water solutions. So we want to do is we are on the cutting edge. No one has what we have. No one. A lot of them out there on the market coming out with different things. They're trying to stay up with the rise in the marketplace, but they don't do what we do. No one else has our proprietary technology. So despite widespread access to drinking water, concerns about water purity, bioavailability, and absorption efficiency persist. Many consumers are unaware of how water influences their overall health and the potential benefits of water they consume. So think about it. What are you doing with your water? Research shows that many adults fall short of their daily fluid intake and recommendations. We talked about that. How much water should you be drinking? If you just use the scale of half your body weight in ounces per day, then you can be pretty safe. You're going to be hydrated. Now, one thing with the new X2O system, you only have to drink 1 glass a day. It makes 2 glasses at a time, up to 2 glasses. Now it makes 2 10-ounce glasses. Well, maybe one for you and one for your wife. But you got to remember, that is not enough for your hydration throughout the day. You can't just drink the X2O water and expect you don't have to drink more water throughout the day. So there's something you got to think about. What is the rest of your water being processed by? Do you have a good filtration system? So that's something we're going to be talking about in one of the next upcoming talks we have. So booming functional water market is projected to hit $30.1 billion by 2032. $30.1 billion, okay, in the next 7 years. How much of a part of that do you want to have? How much of that income-wise do you want to have? Or how many people do you want to help with it? So it's driven by demand for high-quality hydration and health-focused solutions. Think about this. Water quality concerns. Millions exposed to forever chemicals and heavy metals. Do some research on that. See what it's doing. Cancers, heart disease, all kinds of immune issues because of these forever chemicals. Most filters fail to improve water's bioavailability or absorption. So the shift is now, like they call it here, a wellness shift. Over globally, $7 trillion in the wellness market is moving towards holistic health. The X2O technology meets this demand with a scientific backed breakthrough solution. So like I said, we are on the cutting edge. No one has what we have. You think, well, everyone's going to buy one. Well, some will, some won't. But who are the people that you're going to market to? First of all, you're going to look at the health conscious individuals seeking better hydration and overall wellness. All you on the phone or on the Zoom today that are LifeWave brand partners or using LifeWave products, you yourself are the person or the type of person we're looking for. You're health conscious. Athletes and active lives with active lifestyles, or just people that are busy all the time, they require enhanced performance and nutrient absorption. I've worked with a lot of professional athletes. I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of doctors, and they want the best. That's why what I've done, I don't go out and make claims about the technology I sell, but they take my word on it because I do my research. Aging population is another one you want to look at. Focus on anti-aging and natural rejuvenation. Current water system users ready to upgrade beyond basic filtration. I can tell you right now on my counter in my kitchen, I have a water system with pre-filters that are probably a total of $8,000 in what I put into them. And the reason why is because I want the best for my family. Water is the number one most important thing to your life. So don't you think you should have the best water? Instead of spending money on other things, spend some money on your own health, okay? So that you can live more active, longer life. So despite widespread access to drinking water, concerns about our water purity, bioavailability, and absorption, efficiency persist. Many consumers are unaware of how water influences their overall health and the potential benefits of the water they consume. Consumers seek premium, science-backed, which we have, hydration solutions that go beyond traditional filtration and purification. Health-conscious individuals demand functional wellness products that support their hydration, energy, and daily performance. The rise in scientific hydration technology suggests a market shift towards enhanced water solutions. So we've moved away from the Brita filters. Yeah, Brita filters are good for chlorine and lead, but they're not taking care of what we're having today, issues in our water. So X2O serves best at age range from 40 to 65. And that range, 40 to 65, is also the range we also market a lot of our X39 to. Income levels of $100,000 plus per year, mid to high income earners. That's our kind of our goal. I mean, this is what if you're going to be doing marketing online, these are some of the things you want to look at. Locations, urban and suburban, health conscious communities. Households with families, professionals, wellness driven individuals. This is your ideal culture that you're trying to reach out to if you want to sell the systems. A lot of us just want it for ourselves, which is fine. But as far as marketing, you want to look into building a culture that fits into that community of people. Okay. Mindset and behaviors. Think about this as you're thinking about your customers. What drives their decisions? Are they wellness focused? Do they invest in organic food and personal health and fitness? Are they tech savvy? Are they eager to adopt advanced wellness technology? Are they eco-conscious, concerned about the bottled water's environmental impact? Are they brand loyal? And they prefer premium long-term health solutions. That's what we have here. This is a long-term health solution. Frequent buyers also regularly purchase supplements, water tech, and wellness services. How much do you spend each month on supplements? I mean, yeah, I'm taking my Celergize now. You know, I drink my Celergize. In fact, I drink 2 glasses a day. I love this stuff. I'd rather drink it than a cup of coffee. So if you were to go in my kitchen right now and you look in my medicine cabinet, or I should say supplement cabinet, because there's no medicines in there, you'll see 50, 60 bottles of different types of supplements. And you do the math on those, you'll see what kind of money that I spend on my supplements each month. I'm getting rid of a lot of them because the Celergize covers a lot of those areas. So I like clean water. I take supplements. I go to the gym and work out. So I would be your perfect candidate for selling a system to. Are you going to sell one to everybody? No. One thing I'll tell you though is we have been working hard on financing. We have the PayPal, basically, it's low interest, type of financing. I'd like to do is actually spend some time with you guys and and talk to you about some different sources of financing so that you can actually get out there and
What if your water could do more than just hydrate? We drink water every day, yet 75% of us are chronically
Sorry,
dehydrated.
guys.
Why? It is the condition of our water. What if it could support your energy, balance your body, and help you feel years younger, one glass at a time? Introducing the LifeWave X20 water machine, the world's first photobiomodulation water device. A breakthrough in hydration that combines biochemistry and biophysics to produce water that's not just clean, but energized. This is the future of functional hydration. Most water filters remove contaminants, but the X20 goes further, much further. It filters, restructures, and infuses light into your water to increase cellular absorption and energy potential. The result? Water your body can actually use more effectively. Here's how it works. The patented technology infuses light in the water you drink. The treatment stage charges the water with hydrogen. The water is filtered through two separate stages, removing contaminants such as heavy metals, microplastics, PFOS, and PFOAs. This creates coherent water that promotes hydration at the cellular level. In early testing, 79 out of 80 users felt a shift within minutes. Thermal imaging, microscopy, and energy field scans all showed rapid changes. These results were measurable, and they were fast, within seconds. When your body is better hydrated at the cellular level, you think clearer, move better, and recover faster. This water supports your body's natural ability to restore, refresh, and renew itself without chemicals or stimulants. The LifeWave X20 water machine will be available soon, exclusively for LifeWave brand partners. If you want to be among the first to experience this new wave of wellness technology, click the link or reach out to learn how to reserve yours today.
Okay, so I would do, guys, is educate yourself if you can on water. Start gearing up to make sure that when you get your system, that you have something to put the water in the fridge. That's what I'm going to do. I've got a 2-liter. It's like a Brita. It's a 2-liter acrylic container that filters the water. It's it's like a charcoal filter, and so that you can just pour water into it. I also could do is I can use my water system that I have and just hit clean water and run clean water only into it. But once again, I'm cautioning you, do not put, if you have an alkaline machine, do not put the alkaline water in there. David's also agrees with that. Do not put it in there. I can go through a lot of stuff on the system, but I'm going to recommend that you guys watch the videos that LifeWave has put out and hear it from David Schmidt himself. They are coming out as soon as they get done with their Wednesday calls. Usually within hours now, they're being posted. So I'm going to do right now is take some questions, and then if anybody has any questions, I will try to answer the ones I can, because once again, I am on a 2 contracts, non-disclosure contracts, so I can only answer certain things.
You guys could raise your hand if you have any questions so we could see you. And I see one person, Angie, the first person. Just unmute yourself, please, and ask questions.
Yes, good evening. My question is, I have water that comes from an underground aquifer, and I'm wondering how I would test it for what's in it. So if I do get one of the machines, if I can use it in my own water in the system.
Well, one thing I'll tell you, Angie, is that over 80% of the homes in America have hard water. Okay.
Mhm.
There will be a cleaning way to clean the system, and I've made suggestions. We'll see what they end up using, but it's going to be basically almost maintenance free. The filters will last 6 months on one and 12 months on the other. But I would do is take a sample of your water, and we have local labs in our area that test your water. And we want to see what's in your water, not just is it hard water, is it got chlorine. You want to find out what forever chemicals are on that list that might be in your water.
Okay. Will they test for that? I'm in the middle of Nebraska by the South Dakota border, so I don't even have a big
Right.
town near me. I have to drive 4 hours.
But you have a lot of farms around your area, right?
Yes and no. Yes, we do, but they're not on my property, and mine comes directly from underground.
Okay, well, the water gets underground somehow. And
Yeah.
so as it goes into the ground, hopefully the percolation and filtering through the different mediums of soil, it's removing all that stuff. But I would still, if you're on a well, get the well tested. And I recommend people, if you're on a well, get it tested once a year.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
All right, next is Kamei. Please unmute yourself.
Hi. Hi. I have two questions. One of the things, my city water is tested. I know that they've recently noticed that there's a higher level of PFAS. And
Mhm.
so it also lists the other chemicals that are in the water, or do you recommend getting it tested besides that?
Well, they only test and list certain chemicals. There's
Okay.
hundreds of chemicals that they can't regulate them all. And
Okay.
so the test that you do on well water or tap water, like I just had a guy from Idaho send me his tests on his water to look at. They all found all the limits and all the different chemicals and minerals fall within the government's allowable limits. But like in our area, we have a lot of arsenic in the water, naturally occurring arsenic. So I looked at that and I thought, okay, what can I use? What kind of filter can I use to remove those toxins from the water? I mean, how much arsenic you want in your drinking water? So
Right.
there's companies out there, there's a couple that I use that make a pre-filter that you can put on your faucet. But it's just basically once you get the water into the X2O, it's going to remove those chemicals from your water.
Right.
So, but once again, we're only drinking part of our water from that. So it's something you want to look at for the rest of your water. So
Okay. And what's the shelf life of the X2O water?
8 to 10 hours. If it's
Okay.
in glass or stainless steel, don't put it in plastic bottle. We do have hydrogen in the water. So hydrogen is lighter than the oxygen, and it'll go quickly out of plastic. And so the best way to make that water is to make the water and drink the water. Okay. Don't let it sit around. So that's my recommendations on it.
Well, we were thinking about, like, for practitioners being able to sell the water out of their facilities.
Yeah, I don't think the company's gonna allow people to sell the water. First of all, you sell water, you have to be licensed, and they have to do a health department test on it. I know I gave water away from my store.
Okay.
I didn't sell it because I gave away water and they ended up buying the system because of the results they got. But that's one of the things that I don't have the most recent, older than a month old guidelines that the company has. But I can almost guarantee you they're not going to allow brand partners to sell the water.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Kame. Next is Gregory. Thank you, Gregory, for coming to our meeting. Please
Good
unmute
evening.
yourself.
I just want to say thank you, Jim. That was brilliant. The science of water is something that we all will be learning more about and appreciating more and more. And your knowledge, I just want to say, you and your team have an unfair competitive advantage when the X2L finally comes out. To have a coach like you with the background like you have, I dare say you'll probably be one of the most successful water sellers in the company, X2O sellers. But I just want to say thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge today.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys, I was putting this together up until just a half hour before we did it. So if I seem a little rough on it, it'll get easier. But Renee and Leon and their team, they have a team of people that they know water as well. They've been marketing it, and they're good at what they do. And so there's a lot of people within our teams that are very excellent trainers in the area of water. And so I'm excited. I'm still going to focus on X39 as my main tool to get them going in the business. X2O is a one sell. Someone's going to buy it. And then, yeah, they sell it, great. But the X39 gives us continued residual income.
Yeah,
Thanks, Gregory.
good combination, though. Thank you, Gregory. Dr. Latrice, please unmute yourself.
Yes, hello. First and foremost, thank you so much for the invite to this call. I was on the director's call. I'm a new director. I was on the director's call Thursday. So thank you so much, sir, for inviting us to this call. The information was amazing. I can't wait to dive deeper into this. But my question is, what about reverse osmosis water?
Okay. RO water, a lot of
For
areas.
use in the machine, sir. For use in the machine.
Yeah, you could put RO water in there. That would reverse osmosis water, unless it's a commercial system, does not remove all the minerals from the water. So RO water, distilled water is dead water. Distilled water, what was it designed for? Irons. It's designed for, things that have no minerals, so I would go RO water if you have it. And that's been tested with RO water, so we know it'll work with RO water.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. I get it at a local health food store.
Yeah, and that will be the best thing for your machine itself. So a lot of people have RO systems in their home. So RO water takes out a lot of the toxins out of your water.
Much appreciation, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we have Christine Townsend.
Hi, thank you. I wanted to ask about that video because I have not seen it. Is it available to us in our back office someplace that I haven't found?
You know what? It's not a company video. I watched it several times just to make sure it's compliant. In my opinion, it hasn't been through compliance of the company. The scary thing about a lot of videos you find online, if you send someone a video about the water, which that's from YouTube, it's always got someone else's information on it. So if you're going to give anybody a video that is YouTube based, you've got to do your follow-up, because you can lose potential customers that way. But it seemed like a very good video. If you can show it like I did, where I didn't have the links. But yeah, we'll see more videos as we get closer here. The company does the best videos. They are compliant, and they are the best we can find. They're good. They're good at what they do.
Okay, Karen.
Hi.
Hey, Karen.
Thank you, Jim. You mentioned reserve it. As soon as you said reserve it, I wrote it down because I've heard that a few times. And are we allowed somewhere to reserve?
No, you're not able to. That video, like I said, was a YouTube video, and that's the only place that was on there. But you cannot reserve the machines. The company's going to do a rollout. Senior presidential directors are going to be able to get them a few days before the rest of us. We want to make sure that everything is working smoothly and we get our feedback. So,
Okay.
I really believe it should be a tiered approach to where we work from the top down. Just to make sure we want to make sure everything is perfect. David Schmidt wants it perfect. And I think the only way to do that is make sure that we get into people's homes and get the feedback from them.
I like that. I like them being used at first.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But you said, can you put it in the refrigerator? What were you talking about? After you make it, or?
You could put it in the refrigerator. It's like David Schmidt says, the best place to store it, if you're going to have it in glass, you're going to keep it for later in the day, is to put it in a dark glass and keep it in the refrigerator. Just remember, hydrogen is lighter than oxygen. It'll escape.
Yeah, just like our
So,
9.5.
Yeah. Yep.
Good. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, Dave.
Yeah, hi, Jim. Hey, listen, I was wondering, with our X39 patches, one of the great things about it, you give somebody a couple, 3 patches, they put them on and go, oh my gosh, it changed my life. And I understand the water's about the same way. Any thoughts about the best way to maybe share the water, or is it just going to be show them a couple of videos and go from there?
Well, I like to say 2 things. You and I both know the kind of the puppy dog thing where you let people try the water and they fall in love with it. This water tastes like purified water. It doesn't have a taste. That's why when you go to the LifeWave corporate office and do the tour, they don't offer samples to people to try the water because it just tastes like water. Okay. So I think the best way to market a high dollar item like this is, first of all, look at who you're marketing it to. Okay, who is the culture that you're trying to get it into their homes? And they're going to reach out to others. But the thing is, you want to do is talk about benefits. There's features, and a lot of features on the machine. But what are the benefits? And it doesn't look like that black thing. It's a beautiful stainless steel case. Gregory, if he's still on, can tell you, about what it looks like. They've got it in their home now. But benefits. So when you're talking to someone that's in healthcare, what are the benefits to someone that's in healthcare? If you're talking about to an athlete, what's the benefits for an athlete? If you're talking to someone as a senior citizen, what's the benefits? Always focus on benefits, features. The old saying is facts tell, stories sell. If you tell a story about the benefits you had with this water technology for yourself or what others have had, you're going to sell a lot more machines. Facts tell, stories sell. So you got to develop your own story. And if you don't have a story, borrow a story from someone else. That's why we have our Monday morning miracle call for people to get on there and hear stories about what the product's done for them.
All right, thank you, Jim. One of the things you mentioned is that you were going to talk about the financing quickly. You mentioned about because a lot of people are actually, I'm sure, very interested in that.
Right.
You mentioned
So,
PayPal.
As right now, the company's pointing towards PayPal. What I'm going to do is recommend to you guys is build a relationship with your local credit union. Okay, credit unions finance hot tubs, jacuzzis, saunas, roofs. A lot of this, items that are not, they're thousands, several $1,000s or more. And so credit unions have a better interest rate. And so start building relationships with your local credit union. And that's one place I would say. And then at the same time, sell it to your, the person of the credit union. You share it with them, share it with the patches. You might get a customer there. So credit union would be a big suggestion. And then if you look at a place like Chase, Comerica and some of the others, they offer 0 down, 0 interest for 3 months, 6 months, some even longer. And then on those programs, they have a lower interest rate for those type of purchases. Not everybody's going to have $5,000 or $6,000 to pull out of their wallet. Some will, some won't. So build those relationships with the credit union.
Okay, we have one last question. It's almost 7 o'clock. So cbencce@aol.com. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, but
Hi.
Okay, go ahead.
This is Charlotte. Thank you for taking my call. There's been some conversation in the chat about how much water you will actually drink. I know that it manufactures 16 ounces. So would you actually drink half of that daily, Jim, or would you drink the entire 16 ounces? Thank you.
Personally, the good question. Yeah, it's 8. You can do 8 to 10 ounces of water, 2 glasses on 1 45-minute processing. And then the water that's in there left over, it will also be ready for the next person comes along. But I personally am going to drink 2 glasses, David Schmidt talks about the results the visible results you get lasting, I think he said 4 to 6 hours. And because you think about it, we had our people in our test group and they saw results. Okay. But they weren't drinking it. They didn't drink it throughout the day. So we really don't have the results to show someone that drinks it more than 1 or 2 glasses a day. So can you drink too much? We don't know. That's why we're going to be doing surveys, find out how people are doing, getting stories. We have a lot of doctors in this company, lots of doctors, and a lot of them are going to be using the water. So I'm sure we can get a lot of physicians giving their results as well.
That's good. Okay, Nelly, last question. It's 7 o'clock. Go ahead.
Yes. Well, first of all, I wanted to thank you so much for doing this for our team. And two, you were saying that you are going to be doing these trainings once a week going forward, or did I misunderstand?
I'm going to do the training probably once a week.
Uh-huh.
I bought a URL for that Zoom. It's I think it's x20zoom.com.
Okay.
So that we'll be doing it once a week. I'm going to try to focus right now because a lot of things I can't say. I know a lot of stuff about the system, but I cannot say it. So you guys got to understand when I say I can't answer certain questions. And so I want to get people up to speed on and educated on hydration. I've got probably, I probably have 30 to 40 gigabytes of information on hydration and water because I've been teaching for so many years. And this one, like I said, I just put together, just finished it up a half hour or so before the call. So it'll go smoother. I know I was a little rough around the edges tonight when you're sharing it, but
it was actually good.
I think that you guys will learn enough about hydration that you can effectively go out and talk to people about it.
Yep.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
All right, you guys. Well, we're 1 minute past the hour. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you, Jim. And sorry for those who had their questions on the chat. We were not able to answer them, but we will have more of these. And for those who want to see the recording, I'm gonna email it to Greg and Robin, of course, Jim also, so you can watch it and you can share it with your team.
Yeah. And
so
also, you guys, let me say one more thing. As you think about water, think about the people that have been dealing with excess water, the floods. Be praying for the people in Texas and the Midwest. There's a lot of people that need our prayers right now. So be praying for them. So yeah, thank you for having us on, Renee and Leon.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. And thank you everyone for being on this call. God bless you and have a great weekend.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
God bless
thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, Audrey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Excellent.
so
Yes,
much.
excellent call. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.